Hey, you there. Thank you for watching and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 7v7 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the north, ending with Team 2 in the south. Starting off with Team 1's western player, they're working their way eastward. We have in Rust Team 1's Buttons. He is a Seraphim for this match as a 1600. To his east, we have in Light Oaks and Team 1's UEF player of Janus Prime. He is a 1600 as well. To his northeast in Tropical Ocean Blue is It's Coming Home as a Cybran. In Tropical Ocean Blue as an 1800. To his southeast in Chevy Crimson is another Cybran here for Team 1. It is the 2100 rated player of Ocpuck. He is the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. To the northeast, we have in Stitch Blue. We have Willow Wisp. He is a Seraphim for this match as a 2000 rated player. To his southeast, we have in Orange. The color orange is a northeastern player. Most likely a rare god air slot, possibly. Maybe Willow will take that slot. He is a Seraphim. He is Snog, and he is a 1900. And last but not least here for Team 1 on the front lines, at least the furthest south, we have Blue Lynx. He is not blue. I'm going to have to call him Blue Lynx for this match instead of just blue. He is in Pac-Man Yellow as a 1500. Over Team 1 side of the map, they have 2 UEF, 2 Cybran, and 3 Seraphim. Team 1 lacks Aeon technology. Oh, I'm going to change my name to Snog Stacks. Oh, lovely. Starting off with Team 2 Southeastern player, then working our way westward, we have in Snow White blending in with his environment. Can't even get that out without speaking nonsense. It is Amon-Ra. He is a UEF as an 1800. To his west in Ruby Red is another UEF here for Team 2. It is Nightly as a UEF, again in Ruby Red as a 1700. To the southwest in Regal Purple is the Aeon Commander of Mui. He is in Regal Purple again as an 1800. To the northwest, we have in Barbie Pink Drummer as a Seraphim. He is a 2000 rated player. He's tied for the highest rated player on his team, and with somebody else who I will introduce just now, which is the other 2000 on Team 2. It is Boom. He is a Seraphim, and he is an Emerald Green. To the northwest, we have in Batman Gray Vasram 1. He is a Seraphim. He is an 1800. And last but not least for Team 2, the other blue player in this game, it is Moistax. He is a 1400 as an Aeon. Again, he is in Royal Blue. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 2 Aeon, 2 Seraphim, 2 Cybrans. I feel like my math is wrong. There's 3 Seraphim and 2 UEF and 2 Aeon. So Team 2 lacks Cybran technology. Team 1 lacks Aeon technology. And for these 14 players on the map, let's take a look how much reclaim they have to scoop up. Currently sitting at, drumroll please somebody, 37,000 mass in reclaim, which means, oh, that's a really interesting number to do math in my head. 28 would be 2,000. I'd say 2,500 roughly mass per player. It's a lot of mass to scoop up, and it is everywhere. There's a little bit of pockets of nothing, but pretty much it is everywhere around the map. Large clumps of 1,000 plus scattered around the map, so our players are going to be hastily going for engineers and scooping up that reclaim. And with those engineers, they will not only be scooping up reclaim, they'll also be scooping up the mexes on this map. The only one thing I don't like about snow maps is it's a little difficult to see the mechs locations, so bear with me as I have to zoom in a little bit just to make sure that I'm looking at what I'm looking at. Taking a look at Team 2 side of the map, there's a dual mech position here in the east that Amon-Ra is going to grab. There's a Trimex position in front of Nightly, another Trimex position nearby Drimmer, another Trimex position being grabbed by the western player of Moistax, and another Trimex position which himself, meaning the Calm, is grabbing as we speak. I think that's all of the groupings of mexes. There's a little bit of grouping over here. They're not tightly, but there is a nice little kind of column there. So on Team 2 side of the map, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 Trimex positions and another dual mechs in the east. Of course, there are dotted mexes around the map, but those are the main grouping of mexes that our players will be fighting over. There is some mexes around this central pond. I highly doubt that anybody's going to go in this pond and put some naval units. If I can actually get a nice little view on the pond. There we go. I have to push a button or two. But I would not be surprised to see somebody go for that pond. I mean, even if there's Seraphim or UEF with the cruiser missiles alone would be very beneficial. This map is not a 20 by 20, but it's about at least a 16, I think, because I can see the edges of the exterior, whatever you want to call this. It's not even the map. It's just the set dressing, essentially. But I will get this match underway. Again, it is a 7v7, and the highest rated player is a 2100. There are two 2000 rated players on each team, with the lowest rated players on both teams being a 15 and a 1400. So it is a high average rated match this game. Hopefully everybody will enjoy it. And it was actually one of them that actually worked. I think it was the fourth or fifth match that I ran through just to make sure there was no desyncs that had no desyncs. So that is something to be aware of. There are no desyncs in this match. So it is actually watchable, and we know exactly what happened, which is, again, there are, I think, some desync matches that there is no difference, but depending on when the desync happens can change, of course. So it's just one of those things where things aren't exactly perfect in the way that no matter what happened, it was going to happen the way it happened that we see, kind of thing. We do see a couple of T2 headquarters have been started here, and a lot of them actually being started here by everybody in the game. It is going to be kind of a long haul game. I mean, it's 7v7, 14 players. There's a lot of things to chew through. We are seeing some grouping of comms here to the west and the east a little bit, not as much, but mainly in the west. Looks like 3 comms here for Team 2, that being the western players of Team 2 versus the western ones of Team 1. Of course, that is Buttons and Janus Prime versus Vaswam, Moistax, and Bloom. We do see in the east, it's not as tightly compacted here as it is in the west. There's at least a 1v1 going down on the eastern side between Snog and Amon-Ra. And then in this kind of mid-east, we have what looks like at least a 1v1, possible 2v2, possibly 3v3. Sorry, 3v1. Going here on this eastern side, but it does look like Akbuk is shifting westward more than east, and it does look like Willow is moving south as well. So it looks like it to be a 2v1. I don't see anybody else from Team 2 nearby. I don't even see the comm of Dremmer anywhere, unless, you know, oh, there he is right there in the middle of that Trimax position right there. So he's holding position right now in the middle, but there is a couple of units bearing down the front door here from Janus Prime. He's just full sending his units in. He's getting a decent amount of kills on these mexes. Some of these mexes going for upgrades, which means all that mass and energy will be unfortunately wasted. They are, of course, some strikers. Some of them actually have veterancy as well, so they've been through the ringer a little bit. That's another mex offline. More reinforcements inbound. They're starting to be sandwiched here by Team 2's forces coming in to close the gap. And in the west, we see a little bit of movement here. Not a lot from Moistax, but just enough to start making Team 1's Buttons a little bit worried. T2 land upgrades and air upgrades being finished here by a couple of players on Team 1. T2 air is online now for Willow, and I would assume T2 air is being built by the Emerald Green player of Boom. So again, it's going to be a lot of upgrades. I wouldn't be surprised to see another player go for T2 air, most likely maybe Mui for Team 2, and maybe It's Coming Home, or even on the eastern side here for Snog if it starts to be a chore or just a slog to go one way or the other in terms of land. There are a couple of units covering Amon-Ra's position in the east, though, and that attack, of course, does get taken out very quickly, but mexes were taken offline, so of course it does slow down on the eco situation a little bit, which is, again, better than nothing. But that's just how the game goes, at least. The early raids do some damage. Very rarely do they do a lot of damage, just due to the weak units, weak DPS, that sort of thing from said units. There is a couple of units starting to poke and prod at the defenses on the eastern side of here for Team 1's Blue Links, as my game stutters to catch up with my incessant zooming and zooming out. And it's partly due to the fact that it's a 7v7. There's a lot going on. My machine, of course, is not the best in the mobile department. My stationary machine is very, very good. I'm very happy with my purchases that I made to build that thing. I'm sad that it cost me as much as it did, because I see the same graphics card price now, and I'm like, that's less than I paid for. And it's not just like $50 cheaper or whatever. It's like $200, $300 sometimes cheaper. I'm like, oh, sad. But that is the price of getting it when I get it, though, right when it's on the market. Anyway, I have a couple of T2 units now coming online for Moistacks in the west. Lots of forces inbound for Buttons to shift them southward. Wants to get them away from the front line, but it's all T1s versus some T2s and T1s. The Buttons will be outgunned, not only for his unit count, but also for his tech count. I would be surprised to see T2 land. It is established he's going for the Ilshis. Good man there, going for the best T2 unit, I think, in the game. I can't think of any other T2 unit that could. So, I mean, the Obsidian tank is pretty good, but I don't know. In the east, Snog saying rude. Don't really know what that's about. Possible drop, possible something, I don't know. Happened over there. Don't really know why he said rude. But anyway, we have Snog. Oh, that's why he's rude. He's almost dead. Oh, that was very mean of somebody on Team 2. Don't know who that could have been. Gunship threat? No, I don't see a lot of mass. Makes me think it's a missile, but I don't see a missile in range. Or at all in general. No, I don't see anything nearby. Is there attack? No, there's nothing on any of the comms on the eastern side, so I don't know what attacked Team 1 Snog over there, but he definitely is not feeling well. He's getting some TND, which makes me think it's a missile, but I just don't see it anywhere. It could be... Oh, no, that's a PGen. Where is this missile of which... Is this it? No, that's a TMD. Yeah, I don't see where the missile is. It's probably staring at me in the face, and I don't see it. Probably what it is. That's an... Yeah. Anyway, well, there was a missile online at some point. Maybe it got reclaimed, maybe not. We see Nightly going for an upgrade, and the restoration field has been started for Boom's commander. Boom is still over here to the west. It is still a 3v2 in favor of Team 2, but we do see also Moi coming in, so it's possibly going to be a 4v2, if not a 5v2, if Drimmer shifts westward. He's gone for T2, so I probably doubt it. He's going to stick right here in this kind of midwest section over there. T3 land has been started by Amon-Ra. Wants to get those Perseus online sooner rather than later. Attacks in the east are starting to stack up here. Lots of Team 1 units. Don't recommend sitting your interceptors there. Would not recommend, because they're going to get killed by land units that should have no business going after air units. We do see, of course, the strikers kind of just throw some pod shots at one another. Nothing too strenuous or too dangerous. Of course, we're waiting for all of the T3 air and T3 land to emerge. Nano has been started here for Snog. Did he go for a shield? Yes, he did. He did go for shield, and he has T2, and he has gun. So gun, T2, and now Nano coming online here for Snog. Very tanky commander, but he's going for more defensive with a little bit more offensive kind of flavor in there, but it's mainly defensive in the west here. Team 1 needs to get their defensive game going, or it's not going well. We have Mui and Voss leading the attack. Both have gun, and in Mui Stack's case, it is gun slash, well, it's speed slash range instead of speed and range. We do see this is not going well here. Restoration field is done for Boom. Don't know why it says it 4 times, but it does. In the Midwest here, we still see It's Coming Home has T2 going for more shields, and we also see Okpuk just hanging out. Of course, he's not really attacking that much, staying back. Looks like he's ecoing a little bit more. Same with It's Coming Home. So both of these players being more of the eco side of things. Of course, get your eco up, get your get lots of RASCOMs, lots of mass fabs, and then you just spam. It is a strategy. Does it work all the time? It does not, but it can work. We do see Buttons is starting to be overwhelmed here. I don't see anybody else. We do see a 1v1 in the Midwest here, so I think I'm going to put things just ever so slightly. Strat Bomber over the top here for Moi, coming in to throw some fire at his opponents. We do see this engagement here in the west between Janus Prime and Drimmer. And it does look like Buttons is out of the danger for the most part. That Strat Bomber now going after this position almost takes out these 3 facilities. Would have probably been better to go after the PGen, in my opinion. May have been able to kill off the T2. Not with the volatile explosion. Do you see the bomber is still coming in? ASF's coming in to guard it as best they can. Strat Bomber going to land. Kills off 1 T2 mechs. Not even the PGen. The plasma cannon survives. The T1 PD, very surprising. The bomber is going back in. ASFs from Willow are inbound. The bomber will probably get one more bomb off. It does. Gets another T2 mechs. It looks like that fight in the middle kind of doesn't go anywhere anyways. It wasn't really worth the splitting of the camera, but it is nice to cover stuff just in case stuff happens. I wish I could have this be like the normal position or something. I don't know. I feel like there should be like a preset. Like this is preset 1, and then in the middle is preset 2, and I can just hit some buttons and it just kind of flip-flops around the map. But it does not do that, unfortunately. Wall section from beyond the heavens or something coming in here from Amon-Ra. Look at this thing just sectioning off an entire almost quarter of the map. And then we have another wall section here, and then one place the units to stack up. The strategy, I think, from Team 2's Eastern players are just wall off Team 1's advancement and just kind of hang out, eco up, not really worry about a whole lot, and then force Team 1 down one avenue, which is very beneficial for Team 2 because they can attack from two fronts. Team 1 can only attack from, I mean, they can attack from the west and the east, but the units have to either curve east or curve west, and these units can essentially provide nice little kill box. We'll see if that ends up claiming a kill or two in the west. The attack is still pushing in. Mui is dropping hit points, but he is almost at 2-star veterancy, so he's going to get some of those back here soon. We do see that Buttons is still, you know, he's recovering. He's back up in the green, but he has no upgrades on board. Definitely needs to fix that sooner rather than later. T2 air is online here for Akpa, getting also T3 land as well, producing some bricks. Don't know where he's going to send those. Maybe south, maybe west. We do see Will-O-Wisp is now hanging out, watching this naval battle occur between two Seraphim commanders. That is Team 1's X coming home and Team 2's Trimmer, wanting to establish central dominance across the map here. Of course, they went for the Seraphim tech, which means they want to go for the cruisers. There is a couple of PD on the shoreline for It's Coming Home. What's interesting enough is It's Coming Home is Cybrin, so he's not even Seraphim, apologies, but he's using Seraphim tech. Unfortunately, that facility is knocked out. Those Yenzin provided very much a nice little breathing room for Team 2's facility to get up and running and getting some AA and now some tactical missile defense to protect against any sort of attack missiles from Team 1. We still see that Snog has come all the way from the eastern side of the map to assist, so both of the orange players on Team 1 on the western side. And look at this, Moistax and Boom still starting to push. At 15 minutes, it's starting to be a little bit dangerous to do that, especially with Moistax not feeling super well. Again, remember, Snog has Nano Gun and T2 Engineering Suite, so he has a decent chunk of hit points at his disposal, plus, you know, the overcharge, plus the Nano, plus the gun. And all these T2 units are going to go up. They're going to do significant damage to the comm and make them focus down those units pretty much first. There are also reinforcements inbound from Buttons from the west. But look at this huge claim of territory here on the western side. The only dangerous thing now is now we have units inbound from Janus coming in to flank those two comms from Team 2, and they are pillars. There's some strikers in the mix, just whatever they could throw at their opponent's Lobos. That Moistax commander is probably not going to make it home today. Maybe Boom will be saved. T1 PD hastily trying to be built to protect those commanders, but Moistax is now in the red. We do see Snog pressing the advantage. T1 transport nearby drops off and off them. Actually, two of them get dropped off. I think it's a little bit too late. Moistax to drop them below 1,300 hit points. There are T2 PD being established as well. And now we see Boom is receiving some damage from Snog. Moistax, again, is below 2,500, so if Boom goes down, so does Mui, unless he gets out of range of his teammate. We even see Janus Prime coming in with Gun and Nano, and there goes Moistax. It was only a matter of time. Boom receives some damage from that explosion. So does Snog, I think, a tiny bit, but not by much. And now that we have two gun comms here for Team 1, this gun comm for Team 2 is not feeling well. He also has Gun, Nano, and a Restorer range, but Restorer field, excuse me, but yeah, I think Team 1 is going to go for the kill at this point. Snog is not feeling super well, but he's sitting at 8,000 hit points and falling. Boom is sitting at 4,000 hit points and falling, and I don't think he's going to make it home. He tried to build a nice little facility to distract with the, essentially the pathfinding there, but 1,600 hit points, 1,200 hit points. Oh yeah, he's dead and gone. And Team 1 gets a double kill here on the western side. They pushed way too far forward. and got cornered and got sandwiched and got killed off. And now we see in the east at the same time an attack happens from Knightley. So no, it was not only defensive, it was offensive as well. That wall section providing, of course, a nice avenue straight forward. The only issue is navigating this environment a little bit annoying. TMD trying to work as best they can. Blue Lynx has a lot of them online. Needs to get a shield as well to protect, but there are a couple of Percys inbound as well as other T2 units. So Blue Lynx's position is not going to feel good. You see in the west, Button still pressing the advantage, going after all the Ilshis and the Othams. Almost gets the Otham with that overcharge. The Ilshi does get out of range with that assistance with the distraction, because one of those units would have died if the other one was not there. And Buttons is still, in the yellow, but he has gun on board, so he has some attack power at his advantage. Of course, it looks like maybe Transport going to take Snog out. Yep, going to pick Snog up and call him back, it looks like. Looks like he's going to drop in front of a couple of Othams that wants to save his teammate from some bad economic damage. The T2 mechs will go offline, most likely. Next, he's going to drop right here. He's going to drop Overcharge. Doesn't save the mechs, but overcharges, kills off. And Blue Lynx is defeated by Knightley over here to the east. I was worried about that. I should have gone back to see exactly what happened, but he just got overwhelmed, it looks like. And Team 1 loses their first player of the game. It is now a 6v5 in favor of the northern team of Team 1. And of course, I will point out Team 1 has lost their lowest rated player. Team 2 has also lost their lowest rated player, but also lost one of their highest of Boom. So again, rating, especially at this stage of the ranking, it is important, but it isn't that important. It just depends on, a 1500 versus a 2500 is one thing. A 2000 versus a 1600 is another thing. That's my book, of course. We do see that army inbound from Knightley continuing to push, and there's really nothing to defend. There are a couple of lightning tanks, but unfortunately for them, there is a tiny bit of a hill in their way, and yeah, it's kind of affecting the potentially weapon system's effectiveness. We do see artillery is raining in from the east. Looks like it's mobile, maybe? No, it's just a Thutham, so it's stationary. Team 1 is devoting more resources to plug this hole, though. A couple of Percys and Titans doing their best. And now Snog is now back over here. Transport is shot down, but he doesn't care. He's coming home to defend his territory after defending his teammates. He'll force this army eastward, right into that PD. And Buttons is defeated by Drimmer in the west by some Harbingers that just ran him over with some Othams assisting. Now it is a 5v5 game, tied up once again. I don't know why he didn't fall back. Looks like he probably pushed too far forward and got eaten by it. I mean, Team 2 just lost 2 plays to that exact thing, so you would think that they would not overextend. But, players get essentially, not excited, but like, go, and then they just get rammed for it. We do see that now Team 1 has claim of the middle of the map here. They've knocked Team 2's Drimmer out of this Navy, but also at the same time, Fat Boy is done. And on the front lines for Amon-Ra, he sped that construction up very, very quickly. I think that's the first Fat Boy I've ever seen built before 20 minutes, because it was definitely before 20 minutes because they had to be built and then walked or trundled over there. That's a very fast Fat Boy. It could have been some assisted work where 2 players working on one Fat Boy or one experimental. Large stacking up of ASFs for Mori. Decent stacking up here for Willow, but definitely Team 2 has the advantage in air. Fat Boy pinning up by Snog. Yep, it's there. And it's not happy. And those Othams are in full retreat. More transports nearby to pick up the comm if needed. Team 1 is suffering on the eastern side. And Team 2, they're suffering comm deaths on the western side. But in terms of stability and what's left, they're doing very well. Of course, Buttons is now knocked out, which means Janus Prime has control of the entire western half of the map. Harbinger's coming in and ripping apart this space here for him. Not doing great in terms of the eco situation. 1.5, 1.6k for each team. So Team 2 slightly in the lead. Now it's 1.6, 1.7. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game at this point in the video at 21 minutes. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really do appreciate it. And as always, if you haven't done so already, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course, as always, share this video with your pets, your family, and your friends, because your pets, at the most, preserve quality content as much as we humans do. Monkey Lord is online. It just needs to get in range of the Fat Boy, but there's a lot of support nearby. Those Percies plus Titans plus everything else will rip that thing apart and mass dump right in front of that Fat Boy. Would not recommend. Chicken under construction, almost in the green. With the chicken support, the monkey will be able to punch through. Hybrid monkey is heading left, says Mui. Hybrid monkey? What? I don't know what that means by hybrid monkey, but anyway. In the west, we do see these units continuing to just press through the western side of Janus. We even have a Harbinger back here getting into some mexes that Team 1 definitely doesn't want him involved in. That's not a good day here for those mexes. We do see the attack has commenced. Monkey has tried to go after that Fat Boy. Should have waited for the chicken to be finished. Needs to target the Percies first, but there's a lot of them, and that is a dead monkey. Yeah, I should have waited for that chicken. Snog just finished it as we speak, I will add. So, at the same time that Team 1 sends it in, Team 1 builds another one to replace it. It will keep Team 2's Fat Boy a little bit further back. It was looking a little bit too far forward, and now they're definitely going to just pull it back. There's still a lot of T3 Percies here, as well as some Spearheads, and a lot of other units and some Parashields. So, they're definitely a mobile fortified position. I'd say a stationary one. A couple of Omnis on the front line here for Team 1, gathering nice intelligence. Would like the backup. Would like to see one further west or further east, but at a minimum, they have a backup plan. We do see a monkey running around here. That's probably what they meant, was that the hybrid monkey was inbound from the west. T2 Mex is going offline here for Drimmer. He's definitely not going to like that. There are some restorers overhead trying to chew through the rest of those hit points. More restorers inbound. Voltus as well brought in from Mui. And now we see the AA coming in to assist. The missiles are on full display. There's 5 of those cruisers nearby, and they're just poking and prodding. Team D being hastily built over here to defend. These Team D are being taken offline. So even if the monkey dies, the mexes will still be taken offline. So that's mass income that Team 2 is no longer getting. Team 2 just jumps in the totals. 2,000 mass versus 1.5 for Team 1. That is looking a little bit dangerous. A lot of players on Team 2, over, of course, 200, if not more. Team 1 still has a player underneath 200 mass income. And we do see Moe almost at 600 with Team 2's Team 1's highest at 450. So you can just see the discrepancy, not discrepancy, but the difference in ecos there. Voss has had no opponent the entire game. Literally me, by the way. Voss is on, of course, Team 2. I mean, Voss is also sitting on kind of dual base. Not really dual bases over there. We see T3 land facilities. Air, of course, down here for Mui. Another air facility over here. So he has, of course, 2 air bases. Huge for Team 2. Huge, huge, huge ability for them to punish Team 1 with air. Chicken is now in range, or at least slowly coming into range of the Fat Boy. Percies and Bricks coming in to assist from Team 1's Akbuk. And that long-range cannon is slowly coming into range. AoE on that's going to really hurt. Couple of... Oh, nope. The AoE doesn't make it all the way there. At least the tertiary fire. And we see the chicken just dancing, trying to just avoid the Fat Boy fire. It's slowly catching up. It's very slowly. We've seen that experimental being microed quite nicely. They're trying to bob and weave. Another experimental online. It is another chicken, another experimental online. Most likely a monkey, and it is another monkey established here shortly for Oddpuck. Not going for Crab yet, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Crab. And that Fat Boy is now in range, but that Fat Boy has made it back to the wall section that has just been annihilated by Team 2. Looks like he just got rid of it and just said, nah, it's not really important at that point. And there goes the Fat Boy, and Mex is going to go offline. Spearhead's going to go offline, and this chicken is open for business. There is a Novax right here, and it's about to get reclaimed, and it is going to get reclaimed by Amon-Ra. Will the chicken press? No, the chicken will not press, and they're still reclaiming that Novax. Oh, nope, they're going to rebuild it again. There you go. So that was a missed opportunity. Of course, Team 1 doesn't know that. They don't. It would have been pretty good to take off the Omni, though, to be fair. Even if it was a Omni and T3 land headquarters, something is, of course, better than nothing. I think it was more about mass dumping in that regard. Which I don't blame Snog for being a little bit more defensive, especially because he has another chicken coming online, and both chickens can push in quite nicely together. Hogbuck builds another experiment, so most likely another monkey, and another monkey's on the cards here. He's Sending 2 of them. Well, actually, that is a crab. He has gone for crab. I do apologize. So now 2 chickens, plus a crab, plus a monkey or 2. Very dangerous for Team 2 on this eastern side. Western side here, we see some gunships moving in. They are restorers. Air to ground weaponry, of course, not great, but they do have nice AA on board. We do see ASFs coming in to back them up. ASFs from Team 1's Willow moving in to intercept, but there's just still so many ASFs for Team 2. We see 111 ASFs here for Willow, and we're sitting at 32 gunships, 80 ASFs. So actually the numbers do favor Team 1, but that AA will pose a problem. Looks like mass assassination is the goal, and it looks like that just might be the case. It looks like the satellite has been noticed by Team 1, and that has now prompted the engagement to happen. Crab, monkey, and 2 chickens. They're just going to full steam ahead that thing. And there goes Team 1's. I think that was Janus Prime, it looked like. Yeah, Janus Prime control K when there's 2 chickens and 2 monkeys walking towards you. I think he was just... I mean, he could have stayed in there. It didn't look like there was a lot of P-gens nearby. It's possible that there was, but I didn't see anything when I looked over there. We have ASF fight at the back of Team 1's base. So at the minimum, even if Team 1 lose it, there's a lot of recam to scoop up. Mass fabs being annihilated. That's never good. That's 8 mass a second. With all those mass fabs going down. AA being spammed up. It is Team 1. Let's go. It's better than nothing. Another mass fab going to go down. Or at least a ring. And the ASFs do finish off the fight here. And that's another mass fab grouping going down. It's 4 mass. Actually, that's probably 5 mass to be fair. But all of that mass now under the control of It's coming home. He has a huge section of the map here for Team 1. Now we see a chicken online in the west, and that chicken in the east has now started to approach the base, and he's actually been killed off, unfortunately, here for Snog, and he's going to go west and go around that position. What I will note is now a 4v5 game here at 26 minutes in favor of Team 2 for the first time in the game. We do see in the west the forces are now retreating in face of that chicken, so the entire western side is going to get wiped out here shortly. We see that Crab has eventually been taken out. Monkey in the base here, but it's all over, stomping all over that T3 land headquarters. So the ability to build T3 units, unless he has a backup, is now diminished and essentially eradicated. A lot of TMD going down. Of course, those cruiser missiles trying to help as best they can, but now they're going to have a open sesame policy over there. In the west, 2 monkeys just holding position, not willing to engage. It looks like the monkeys will be given orders to engage, but there's a lot of T3 units have been thrown at this, essentially entry point that now It's coming home's like, yeah, not worth it. And that monkey is now going to go after that fat boy. At least it's going to try to do the same with the chicken. The fat boy now going to chase the chicken and the monkey because it's trying to help its fat boy out over there. Satellite still online. Very surprised that the frontal assault just did not end up happening. Definitely a missed opportunity there for Snog. Construction of a nuke has been started here for Willow, so he's going to... Actually, it's done. Not even started. It is now done. It is underneath shield coverage. The satellite not going after the air grid for Willow. Not a happy camper that Willow's going to be with that satellite. Looks like he is the only air player. So in a 7v7, only one air player. But to be fair, Team 2's more. He does have two bases. And in the south, there goes an explosion by Knightley's commander due to the chicken and two monkey lords. And Okpuk does get the last damage on that. So that will be a kill for him. There are gunships inbound. Those restorers. T3 mexes are probably going to be offline. This monkey's probably like, nah, I'm going to go home. Be distracted by other things, please. Thank you. Bye. And this chicken is continuing to pressure. This base probably will be transferred over to Amon-Ra, I would presume. Or it's going to get wiped out, one or the other, so it doesn't even have to be worried about transferred over. Oh, it gets transferred over to Marine. Look at that. And the restorers are going home because that ASF is inbound to protect those experimentals there. And that is a wiping of gunships from Team 2's arsenal. Yeah, and look at this. They're also not even only going after the gunship. They also went after all the ASFs too. So nice little 2v1 action there. And the donut is wiped. I don't even know how much progress was done on it. Probably not that much. But anyways, it was wiped out anyways. And there goes the rest of those gunships. Not a good day here for the ASF and gunship hordes for Team 2. And that will put firm control of air in Team 1's department. Most likely air dominance, if not close to supremacy. That is supremacy 139 versus 0, essentially. That is huge, huge advantage. And now we see the monkey and the chicken plus another monkey are inbound. And there are not a lot of defenses nearby. That's probably going to be a dead air grid here shortly, unless Team 2 can muster some defenses. We do see, of course, an SMD or 2 lining around. We do see P-gens being established around the commander. And a Colossus has now been built, so that will buy a little bit of time. It just depends on how long it takes for those chickens and monkeys to get there. It looks like Colossus will meet them right in the middle there. ASF's coming in to assist with dealing with those bombers. And Fat Boy not allowing any other pressure from Team 1 to intercept and assist the forces from the south. Western side has kind of died down with action. Couple of Autumns running around, nothing too big. This is where the action is happening. Monkey has now taken just the brunt of the damage. The chicken is going to just full send it, I would imagine. P-gen's going to be knocked offline. And that chicken's going to get as much damage as it can. And the best way to do that is just put the chicken in the middle of that air grid. And even if it dies, it'll destroy most of it. And there goes a P-gen, and a P-gen, and a P-gen, and another P-gen. Is not going good. That one got reclaimed at the last second, though, so that was nice. Oh, it's not going to get all of it, but it's going to get most of it. Gets another P-gen. Gets another P-gen. There was one still alive. 700 hit points remain. I think the T3 air headquarters is also knocked offline. Ion Storm activates. Those forces for Drimmer are probably close to that thing. So it looks like they might... Oh, no. Well, some took damage, so I don't think it's going to be that much. Monkey from the north finally gets taken out. Tried to go after Moi's commander. Moi did have the shield on board. It wasn't the shield heavy, but it was the regular one, so it didn't really matter if he had it online at that point, but still it's nice to have some extra backup, extra hit points. Nuke construction has been started for Okpuk. So 2 players now for Team 1 going for Nuke. And in the north, how's that Nuke loading here? Well, it's half loaded here for Team 1, so that is something that they have available to them. 30 minutes on the clock here. Team 2, of course, still has their other air grid over here, so it's not like they're entirely wiped out of air. But, I mean, losing more than half, plus where you were getting your gunships from, that's pretty big. It's a pretty big chunk to lose. Chicken expansion and spam in the west here for Voss. And again, as a reminder, it is a 4v4 tied-up game here. Now, it was a 7v7, so almost half of the players have been eliminated. Of course, it is not an odd number, but it's an odd number per team. So one more player has to die for it to be half of the player base for this game has been annihilated. This match, I have to say, not game. But that might help. With air control on their side, Team 1 Snogs going for an Awasa T4 experimental bomber. The nasty little things from the intro for the Forged Alliance expansion cutscene. I don't know if it's the expansion. Oh, it is an expansion, but I don't remember if it's... Is it the opening one or is it the other one? Because the opening one I feel like is a scene with some Ilshis walking around this like raised platform, and there's these comms defending. And then one of the comms makes it out, the other one explodes because it gets killed. Is that the intro one? I can't remember. Anyway. It's one of those early cutscenes, at least. Something about blow myself up. What's going on? JNS, most useful thing I could do. Oh, I see. So that's why he control K'd. He control K'd because the ASF were over top him, so it weakened them. That makes more sense. I was going to say, I don't think they targeted them that much. Which, of course, may or may not help, but he at least tried, which is better than nothing. Cruisers have backed up a little bit due to the Colossus taking out a chunk of them, but still there's more and more of them and more of them and more of them. We even have a Cybran one. That's not going to do anything because you can't get the Salem to walk out of this little crevice that they're in. But, you know, it's an attempt. There are now a crab and 2 monkeys sitting over there to the west for Team 1. But we do see a couple of chickens stacking up as well. I love to see big boat, small pond. It's just one of those, you know, not ironies, but those ironic things of you have this big giant boat, but it can't really go anywhere because it's in a small pond. So, you know, it's entertaining at the least. Don't know why the mass fab panel keeps popping up, but I keep just not getting super upset about it, just clicking it and going away. Anyway, large brick wall with 2 monkeys, of course, and a crab facing off 1 Colossus, 3 chickens. Ooh, that's not good numbers here for Team 1. Of course, we see the Galactic Colossus has to keep moving or it's just going to lose hit points constantly. And that's what, a couple of thousand at a minimum from all those missiles. That could make or break this engagement, maybe. There's a lot of bricks here, and how we have the inverted laser just so you can actually see it. Obviously we do that with the mexes, but whatever. I feel like if they made the mex is for the snow maps this color, they'd be easily identifiable. Easily. No issues there. You see the Colossus is going to be the first casualty of this engagement. Lots of Autumns, lots of Harbingers, chickens. I see no... Oh, nope, there are Perseus. All 4 of the factions on screen at once. Look at that. Monkeys and chickens and Colossus and crabs and bricks and Perseus and the whatnot. 1 monkey offline, 2nd monkey offline. A lot of that firepower from all those bricks are actually being blocked by those little hillocks there. But now some of those bricks are able to get a nice little line of sight on those. Chicken to the west. Chicken is actually going to fall back while the 2 chickens hold position. Great engagement here by Team 2. Another Colossus inbound. Of course, all 5 land experimentals have been built. 1 air experimental was started. 1 experimental was also started in the air. It looks like it's done. Looks like it was actually destroyed. And the satellite has been taken offline. Strat bombers inbound, going after something. Went after a nuke. Oh, no, sorry, SMD, not a nuke. And I think the nuke is inbound because an artillery is coming online here for Amun-Ra, and he knows it. He knows the danger. Is the nuke loaded? It is loaded. Is it firing? Yes, it is. And guess where that nuke is going? Watch it not go there. I'd say psych, but no, that is a dead position for Amun-Ra. He knows it. He's getting out there. He is going to be knocked out of the game for a while because he doesn't have much available to him after the artillery and satellite. Chicken goes down. Monkey just right up the back of that chicken. That's a very interesting way to phrase that. I think I'll stop saying it. Anyway, another chicken inbound. That's an ion storm. That's a dead chicken. The chicken is just going to accept its fate. It's going to get the 2nd chicken, though. It does grab the 2nd chicken before its death. The 3rd chicken maybe will get... Yep, we'll get out of there. Amun-Ra... Not Amun-Ra, sorry. Drimmer pushing westward. And, of course, there goes that nuke. It's about to land. Boom! Takes out an artillery piece. Takes out a T3 land headquarters. Takes out everything there. All the engineers flee, flee, flee. But lots of AA push north, and that's not a good place to sit. How much? Let's see. 80,000 mass. 68. If I said 70, I would have been a lot better off. Dang it. I keep wanting to, like, guess how much mass stuff is worth killing, essentially. Just because it's fun, just so I kind of have more of an idea of, well, this costs roughly this amount of mass. This is how much mass would kill. It's just a way for me to kind of think about how much damage I think it's going to be, how much mass is going to be killed versus how much was actually going to be killed, kind of thing. ASF's coming in to protect, so I don't know if this Colossus is really worth it at this point, because by the time it gets to anything else vital, it's going to be dead, and essentially it's a mass dump at this point. ASF's guarding all those strat bombers. Even if it takes out a couple of Team 1, T2 mexes, it's not really going to get to this position, or even It's Coming Home's main position. Anything spicy in the back? Nuke launcher has been started. Lots of nukes I've been seeing lately. Expansion out of the air grid once more. I don't see any big ticket items. If some team does go for big ticket items, and look at that, it is -1 currently. I think that's mainly my machine, not necessarily the game. 3 Fat Boys, though, that's a little bit concerning here for Team 1. It's close to the critical mass of Fat Boys. I think, depending on the match and depending on what's going on. Oh, there's the Palmer right there. I think 5 is definitely a good number to have. Anything more than 4 is definitely really concerning. And then, I don't know. I think some matches you can probably even get away with 3 being critical mass. It just depends, right? Because you think of a Setton's layout for a map. Land isn't really that great because it takes so long, and it's a very narrow neck of land to get to one side to the other. So having 5 Fat Boys is nice, but trying to send them against your opponent either they'll get bombed out of existence by torp bombers or whatnot, or it's going to take forever to get to the other side of the map. Another nuke is outbound here. And where is this one going? As I'm distracted talking about fat boys and settings and whatnot. In the west. Is that a good target? I mean, it's going to take out some frontline facilities, maybe open a door. There is an SMD over here. It is not loaded. It would have actually been better to sift that or shift it a little bit more east to get the SMD, but it'll kill stuff on that side of the map anyways. But look at this western side for Team 1. Completely wiped out. Team 2 still producing more mass than Team 1, but that gap is slowly getting thinner and thinner. 3 chickens over here. 2 crabs and a monkey will favor Team 1 with that regard. Here comes the nuke. And it's going to get a couple of mechs killed off though. Kaboom! Kills off all that. Of course, slows down expansion of units as well. I mean, that might be the main goal there, but let's say 35,000 mass. Let's give it a little bit more generous. Not even 30,000 mass. So it's not a bad nuke. I just think it could have gone after other things. This SMD was built for a while ago, so that wasn't going to really work. But probably would have been better to just take out the SMD and be done with it. Lots of engineers over here. Looks like the chicken expansion is still underway. The chicken breeding, the chicken whatever. Oh, the crab's going to try to turn around, but the 2 Colossus and chicken are not allowing it to do that. And the 3 chicken's going to come in from around and just sandwich that crab. That's a dead experimental for Team 1. We do see it's now just going to body block at this point. That's very annoying for this Colossus trying to go for the second chicken, or second crab, excuse me. That's a dead Colossus. It is going to do a little bit of some crash damage on that crab. And I think it's 8,000, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 8,000 mass, and that's a dead crab as well. 3 chickens coming in to solidify the claim of that reclaim. And the engineers over here scooping up that Colossus back. That is a dead Colossus as well. That chicken is suffering. Team 1, I mean, that's not really going great here for Team 1 on that western side. Team 2 on the eastern side, though, however, is facing down a host of other units. There's 1 fat boy that has fled. I don't know where all the other ones went. I think they all got killed off, possibly, because I don't see him anymore. The ASF count definitely back up here for Mui, though. So that is something good here for Team 2. But the Calm of Amon-Ra still over here as Ras and T2 on board. That chicken is almost dead. Crab, of course, is the main target of the Fat Boys' oppression, though, from that artillery bombardment. And that is now a dead Fat Boy. It's not going anywhere. Will Amon-Ra make it to the pond? I think he will. Also, Drimmer's over here to the southeast, so that's something to know. Looks like he's going for Nano on board his chassis. That's the only upgrade I can think of. He wouldn't go for T3 at this point. I mean, he could, but Nano would give him more hit points than T3. Another nuke is loaded here for Team 1. Another nuke right there. Half loaded as well. And there's another crab and another crab and another crab for it's coming home. Amon-Ra control case doesn't want to give Team 1 the kill and is now a 4v3 in favor of Team 1. An ASF fight happens once again, but it looks like Willow is still going to win that fight. So he's doing very well in air. He's been very solid with his air power. And just Team 2 cannot seem to break through that stranglehold that he has on air. But Team 2 is doing a very good job on land, though. There's multiple experimentals over here. This one is going to go down as well for It's Coming Home. He really needs, I think, more T3 units, I think. But there's just so many T4s. It's just kind of annoying. And we can see some brick about to be landed right on top of that chicken. But that chicken goes, no. I think it was actually shooting at the crab. And that's when the transport actually essentially flew down right into essentially line of sight or weapon height or whatever with the chicken and just died. You can see the flak doesn't eat it away entirely, so definitely would have been where it was already firing. Ion Storm will go off here. That T3 land headquarters is going down. This chicken's like, probably should back up. And there's still 3 more over here. There's more reclaim coming in all the time here for Team 2. But to be fair, with all of the stuff that's happened so far in the match, Team 1 at 300,000 mass reclaim, Team 2 almost at that at 275. So it's pretty close in that regard. Shield, no shield. Not like Buttons' this whole like, hey, there's a shield over here. There's not a shield over here. So if there's T3 artillery, probably target that one first is probably what he's getting at. Another bomber coming online. for Snog, so maybe he'll send it at the unshielded air grid. I love the kind of splitting off of air grids. It's not all the same. Of course, there's mass fabs here, mass fabs and PGens here. This is straight PGen. This is straight mass fab with one PGen. So I like the variety. There is a Hovatham coming online here right about now. As I say that, it's about a couple more seconds later. There it is. Team 1, I think, has the first T3 artillery. Oh, no. Team 2 did have the one for Amun-Ra. I think it was just barely completed. And that one is now online for Team 1. T3 artillery construction is done. And that nuke is actually inbound from Team 2. And is it going to get a kill or two? No. That SMD is going to kick it out of the sky. And there's another artillery almost done here for Akbak. It's not shielded. Where's that nuke launcher? Is that... Right here, there is a chicken that tried to break through, but just couldn't get through the shielding. I think it's over here, right? Yeah, it's over here. There it is. The Hastuwe T3 strategic missile launcher. It has nothing killed, but again, there's still time in the match to get some death and destruction with that nuke. But look at Team 1 just completely losing so much mass because it's been denied. There are engineers out constantly reclaiming, constantly rebuilding. But now with 2 artillery pieces online for Team 1, Team 2 having none of them, that is not a good thing to be sitting at. ASF fight possibly happen again. Here comes a bomber going to take out a bunch of T3 units and try to go after that. Oh, will the bomb? Ooh, I think it clipped an ASF or 2, but not much. Another bomber under the control of Willow, so looks like Snog built either 2 of them or 1 of them, but still having 2 bombers is kind of deadly. It will force Team 2 to pay attention to that. You can see the ASFs just waiting. Artillery landing. I think it hit a group of ASFs as well. Yeah, group of ASFs knocked out of the sky by that artillery piece, and I think they're just going to maybe take the fight. 2 Colossus. Drimmer has been defeated by Snog. Looks like defeated by Othams. Ooh, because they have torpedoes on board. That's not great for Team 2. It's now another player down. It's 4v2 in favor of Team 1. Essentially, it's a 2-1 game. Bombers are inbound for the air grid, but no, they're going to go for those Colossi there. And that's going to probably kill off this one. 18,000 hit points remaining. That's a dead Colossus. Nice little explosion there. Isn't necessarily nuke worthy, but pretty close. I think the Billy nuke is just a bit smaller than that. So it goes Billy nuke, and then that one, and then obviously nuke subs, then regular nukes, and then YOLO game ender nuke sizes or explosion sizes. We have artillery landing in on this air grid down here. Oh, and there goes the rest of that. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. So another air grid pretty much taken offline for Mori. That's the second full air grid he's lost. He still has the headquarters remaining, but it's severely diminished in its operating capacity. We have T3AA being spammed up, but Psych T3 land is inbound. Needs T2 Team 1 PGen or PD plus more units, and more units are inbound. I think they won't make it though, but this might prompt the bombers to come in to try to save that group of units. I don't think so. Oh, they're sitting back here. That's where they put them. Snog builds another experimental. Isn't another? No, it's not. It was disappointing. I thought it was another bomber. Is Team 1's Willow building another bomber? Or, yeah, I think he just got there. Oh, that's a lot of bombers for Team 1's Willow. That's going to be dangerous. Artillery still raining in, and is now pretty much taking out, again, that air grid. I don't know what it's targeting now. Looks like it's going after the SMD, which the SMD is barely holding on. It's already taken a hit. There's also a crab in range. That's what Team 1's going for. Yep, the SMD is now offline. That nuke is open for business. Are there any? There's one SMD here. It is loaded, but that means Team 1's nukes are able to fire. This one, of course, is now loaded as well. So the one that could have been taken out earlier on was not. But there is an avenue where a nuke could go right down the middle, and that air grid goes up in flames. Kaboom! There goes that. And again, another shot takes out a group of ASFs. Those ASF are just taking a beating from the artillery, let alone the ASF that they've been fighting. Resurgence of some land forces here from Team 2's Mui, but it's not looking good. Team 1 has the artillery. Team 1 has the nukes. Team 2 does too, but another nuke is now fired, going after this position. Is that out of range? I would presume so. But Team 1's done their math on it. This one actually gets fired off and gets annihilated, but this one will not. So that grouping of some engineers with some SM. Oh, that's an SMD. It was just built, but it is not going to make it. Oh, actually, it might. It's a little bit further away than I thought it would be. Kaboom! Yeah, it doesn't kill off as much as I thought. It would appear that Snog does stack. Don't know what he's talking about with that regard. But anyway. Nukes killed off 50,000 mass. Now, again, they're not bad nukes. I just think they could be a little bit better placed. We're doing so well until the comm control K on my air. Yeah, I just don't remember how much damage it did to the air, essentially. If it was incredible, then I don't think that would be the exact turning point of the match, but it definitely didn't help Team 2 at all. At least you can see the exclusion zones that all these cruisers have created. Look at this thing, just huge section of the map that's just isolated. Scrap bombers are inbound. Crab and chicken going after... Sorry, not crab and chicken. Crab and chicken having a nice little engagement. ASFs are going in. Bombers are going in. They're going to drop on top of all those chickens. That's a dead couple of chickens. And some trap bombers actually get wiped out of the sky by the bombers. Or the bombers from the Awasa get wiped out by some bombs from... Wait. How did it? No. The strap bombers got taken out by friendly fire from the Awasa bombers. There we go. Yeah. Don't know why that was so hard. Nuke. Oh, almost got the ASF there. That was really close. Really close pinned there in terms of where the ASF were going to be. That would have been really big for Team 2 had they taken out the ASFs. But still, I mean, this air grid is down. Moi control Ks. He tried. It was a really good attempt, but just couldn't make it happen. And now Team 2 is left with one player. It's gone from annihilation to assassination. And GG's go out. And there goes the game here. Team 2's last player dips out. And that is the game here, folks. 45 minutes and 32 seconds on the clock here. And Team 1 wins the game. MVPs in my book. I mean, Willow did a very good job, especially with air. And then he was just very, very oppressive with it. Artillery's helped out a lot, both for him and for Okpuk. I think the nukes could have been a little bit better from Okpuk, but you can see the strategies from, you know, the two 2100 and a 2000 rated player. Air, land, nuke, artillery, artillery. And there's even another one built. So each player built two of them. It was almost like they were competing with one another. So you can see that, at least for these two players, that was their trend, was a lot of eco, a lot of engineers, of course, artillery, nukes, and the like. But I do think... I think It's Coming Home could have been a little bit better with the ground support, with the experimentals, but Team 2 just kept sending them and sending them and sending them. It was really hard to build up an adequate amount for defense. But Team 2, look at this. Team 2 did a very good job of essentially knocking out a third of Team 1's side of the map. Just couldn't push into the more condensed part. Looks like a Control K took out all this stuff. But that is the game here, folks. I think MVP might be Willow ever so slightly, but Snog did a very good job of just moving himself around the map early on and, of course, putting the pressure on this eastern side. But I do think Willow gets a little bit on the edge for MVP. Again, let me know down in the comments what you felt about the match. Of course, if you haven't done so already, please do those wonderful things that YouTube likes to see, which is like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications when I do post, because there is that rare video that doesn't get posted at the normal time. And, of course, share with anyone, everyone, and especially your pets. And I will see all of you in the next one.